Good morning. Thank you for joining me. My name is Abigail Mombi, and this is The Chance Show, where you get to meet and learn about your favorite broadcast announcers. We're going to be having Johnson Mwakazi. He's going to explain to us his journey to success and fame. I believe broadcast presentation has to do with who you are. It is about delivering what it is required to your audience in the right way and meeting a deadline. Many people admire professional announcers. Some see it as a simple doing. Little do they know it costs time all the way to practice and intelligence. Your personality has to be in sync with the content in sense that it is believable to your audience. I got to meet Mr. Johnson Mwakazi, who will give us tips on broadcast presentation. And here is what he had to say. I am joined with one of the most and well-known Kenyan presenters today. For most people, his voice is like a golden sound to their ears. He's done an amazing job on YouTube through the WTV. He also owns a public relations company that is called the Royal Voice International. He is a former news anchor and a host of the morning breakfast show in Citizen TV. Mr. Johnson Mwakazi, thank you for joining me.
Many thanks, Abby, many thanks.
So tell me, Mr. Mwakazi, what is your educational background in terms of media?
Well, of course, I got to the level of my studies at Daystar University, electronic media. But before that, of course, I had a bit of theatre and media for development, courtesy of Winchester University. But I must say, a lot of the things that I've done, I've learned from just hands-on engagement in the media world, from being an actor to a radio presenter to a television presenter to a media manager. So all those have really taught me levels of media engagement.
You know very well that people admire your voice, right?
Wow,
of course.
I give thanks to God for that.
Yeah, so how natural is it? Do you do practice or?
Well, definitely. Of course, I was born, and when I was, clocking puberty, my voice broke, and I used to have the same voice, but not so many people told me, hey, you have a unique voice. But I started deliberately working on my voice every single morning. I would wake up 5, 6 in the morning to just work on my voice. I still do that. These days I've literally dropped on the number of times I work out, but I try to at least do it once every single day. It's not about having a good voice, it's about having a trained voice.
What point of your life did you realize that this is the best career, or it's the career that you want to really venture in?
For me, it was never about, I want to be a journalist. In fact, the very first time I heard about being a journalist was when I was in primary, standard 8. By then I wanted to be a pastor, and the top student in class said, I want to be a journalist. And I thought, my goodness, the top student wants to be a journalist. That must be a big word, big career. I didn't even know who a journalist was. In fact, even when I got to secondary school and people were being asked, what do you want to become? I said I wanted to be a journalist, and even at that time, I didn't know who a journalist was. After school, it was survival, Abby. It was all survival. It was about putting food on the table. So for me, getting into the world of journalism, it was really about what can I do? Because I got into acting because I had the talent, and I was being paid for it, about 3,000 per show, a whole show. And at one time I'm doing this particular skit, and there is a gentleman who was part of the audience who said, hey, would you like to do something on radio? And I said, yes. And that's how I got into radio. For 2 years, then got onto Citizen Television, then thought, this is a good deal. So I want to study journalism. So that's how I got in. It's not like I sat down and I said, I want to be a journalist. But over time I've come to love it, and I've come to also realize there's so many other things that I can do apart from just journalism.
There's
so many other things that a human being can do.
You really have done a lot in the media. You have done voiceovers in adverts. You've been a host. You've been a news anchor. Can I ask, which is the best job that you think that I'm proud of myself doing this?
Well, for me, media management is something that I'd love to embark on, and that is what also the Royal Voice International is all about, raising journalists who are thinking business, who are thinking continuity beyond their time on television or radio or now internet, but beginning to think, even if I die, is there something that will continue on after my time is through?
So do you mentor any broadcast presenters?
Well, at least there are those who are already on national television that I have worked with. Of course, there are people who also I'm working with, and most of the times when I visit different institutions, and I work with another institution called AFTRIC, the Africa Film and Television Talent Resource Center, where we train kids from as little as 4 years to understand the practical side of public speaking, television interviews, media, production work, so that by the time they grow up, they already have hands-on experience. I use whatever I have right now, every opportunity I have to add value to people, and that gives me a lot of sense of purpose and excitement as well.
You've been in the media for a long time, right? So, do you think like there are any physical requirements or emotional requirements that a presenter should have?
Definitely there are requirements in every aspect of life. If you are a journalist, that's another added responsibility, because you are a spokesperson, and if you're a spokesperson of a particular ethnic group, for instance vernacular stations, then you really need to understand the vernacular language. You need to be there and you need to be presentable, because ideally from a psychological point of view, people don't listen to less informed people, and people tend to be drawn towards people who are higher or have achieved a lot in life. So when you're a journalist, it gives you a lot of responsibility to really work on yourself. And there's a gentleman called Amir Khan. Amir Khan is an Indian amazing actor, and he did this movie, and he was given a role, and he said, you know what, I just want to look good in the movie. So what he did was, a year before the shoot, he decided to go to the gym, worked out, and at the end he was this amazing looking guy. And he was told, why did you do that? You could have acted like that. But he said, you know what, I just wanted to make sure that any person who watched me would go like, wow, I want that. So as a journalist, it's not just about the requirements, in the office, that you've got to do your work, do your research, and do even much more. Go out there, look at international presenters. Don't look at yourself as a local presenter, local journalist. Look at yourself as a global citizen. If it's emotionally, believe in who you are. Know that God has placed something special about you, inside of you, greatness inside of you. You are nature's miracle. So walk with that. Walk with that. Physically, take care of your body. Take care of your body. You cannot have a 30, 50-year vision with a 10-year-old body. You can't.
During the time when you're a news anchor, obviously people know that sometimes the news are actually politically influenced. As a Christian, how are you able to set that boundary of making sure that the stories are actually right for the citizens?
Of course, they're politically influenced stories, but media stations are also aware that they need to survive, so they can't just blatantly go out overboard. But as a Christian, I think your greatest challenge, or my greatest challenge, has been to be who I am supposed to be, regardless of the fame that comes with being on television. Because I believe there is what I call the seduction of the camera. From experience, no media station has pushed me to do something beyond my beliefs, but I constantly find the temptation, from a personal perspective, to move away And that is why a constant walk with God, and especially knowing what is written in the Word of God, the Bible, is so important to keep your mind refreshed, because there are all these new and dynamic ways of leading you astray, and you need to remain the salt of the earth.
Well, you've all heard from Johnson Mwakazi. It's all about believing in yourself and more practice to become the best. My name is Abigail Mombi. Have a good day.